Hello everyone, I'm back. Shirley here. We're going to continue on with our slippers, and we're working on our third row. And in the last video, this is where we left off. And remember, now to do the next row, what we need to do is to wrap our threads around so that all the yarn is carrying across the back. We're looking at the inside of the slipper. So now what we're going to do is with our second color, we want to wrap it around. So we're going to wrap it around and turn our work. It should now look like this. I'll just show you that again. Take this and wrap it around. You can see we have our main color, and this is our second color coming around. And from here on in, it gets a lot easier because we're not going to be worrying about our loose ends. So with our working end, we're just going to knit the stitches. You see that wrapped around there? I'll just zoom in a little bit, and you can see it's wrapped around. Okay, and now just knit those 4 stitches. Okay, when you look at it now, you will have, I'll zoom back out. Okay, we have our end here. We have our working yarns. We have our 2 loose ones. They're not going to bother us much anymore. So now I'm going to look at my yarns, and you can see if I bring them all over here, when I pull that and look at it, my yarns are crossed. I don't want them crossed, so I'm just going to pick up the second color, put it away over there, and now when I look, my yarns aren't crossed. I'm going to pick up the second color, carry it across the back of my work. That's carrying it across. Now remember, I said the yarn that you're working on should always be on the side away from you, so it's already there, so we don't have to flip our yarns on this row. We're just going to pick it up and knit those 4 stitches. Okay, now when I drop this, you can see that our yarns aren't crossed. So we're just going to pick up our next color, or the color, main color. We're going to carry it across the back of our work when we go to knit. So knit with that main color. It'll be across the back and around. And just knit those next 4 stitches with your main color. Now we're going to drop, look at our yarns, and they're crossed. We're going to pick this up, uncross them. Our yarn is on the side away from you. You're going to pick that up and carry it across, you can see, and it will automatically do that when you go to stitch or to knit the next 4 stitches. It's being carried across the back right here, and knit those 4 stitches. Switch colors again. We look at our yarn and it's crossed. Uncross. Pick up and knit. I said it's going to get a lot easier, and you'll see as I knit across, all I'm doing is making sure, oops, I goofed up there a little bit. Just take that back out. It's got in between my stitches. Okay, there we go. All we're going to be doing now is switching our colors back and forth, and we're going to knit to the end of the row. I'm going to knit to the end of this row, and I'll show you again for the next row. How we'll be wrapping our yarns around again, and then we'll be flipping our yarn to the front and to the back like we did on the first row. At least I think it was the first row. I do things so automatically that I sometimes forget. Cold and rainy day here in Calgary, Alberta, where I live. It's been raining a bit, and no snow yet, but it's coming. We usually get snow before Halloween, and then it can clear up, but this year we haven't gotten any snow yet. Well, I'm making this video, it's October the 29th, 2021. Halloween just around the corner. Oh, and I messed up here again. You're gonna see me mess up sometimes. There we go. Just about finished this row. and we're done this row. So now I'm going to lay this out here for you just so you can see how it's or how it ends up and where our yarns are. And again, we won't have to worry about these loose ends getting in our way anymore. They'll be off. What you can do is, if you want, you can just give them a little tie together, or put them like that, just so that they both of them stay together. We're gonna untie this after, but it just helps keep them out of the way. And we're not gonna pick them up by mistake and knit with them. Okay, so there's our yarns. Loose ends down here, and we're going to knit our next row. So again, we want our color, I'll zoom in just a little bit, there we go. We want the color that we're going to be working on, which is here. And now we want to wrap this around. So what you're going to do is you're going to lift underneath and bring your yarn back over, so you have your yarns crossed. What we have to do is remember to wrap that around when we go to do the next row. So I'm going to take this, put it into my left hand, pick it up, and turn. Now it is, pardon me, zoom in again so you can see it's wrapped around our main color, and right now our yarns are crossed. So we're going to pick that up and knit. When I knit the first stitch, you're going to see that our second color has been caught in that stitch. I'm still holding it at the back. I can drop it now if I want, because it has been caught there. Now when I go to do the next stitch on this row, I'm going to knit the 4, and now I'm going to place this down. We want the color that we're working on. We have to knit with this color. So again, this is where we're going to be flipping our yarns on this side and flipping it to the opposite side. So here we're going to take this, bring it to the front, and now I'm going to check and see, whoops, I'm going to zoom out. Our yarns are not crossed. I'm going to take this one, pick it up, pull a little bit, and take that to the back. And you can see that it's wrapped around. The color we're working on is at the back. Away from you, the color that we just knit is on the side facing you. Now we're just going to knit those 4 stitches. Okay, now if I look here and I pull my yarns, you can see where they're crossed. But what we're going to do is take this one, wrap it to the front. We're going to take the next one here, wrap it to the back. And our yarns aren't crossed. Now knit those 4 stitches again, yarn to the front. Now here's where my yarns are crossing. You can see them there. So now we're going to start again like we did before and make our yarns so they're not crossed. Take that to the back. And knit those next 4 stitches. Yarn towards you. Move, pardon me. Move my yarn over. Yarn away from me. And knit. We're going to do this all the way along till the end. Making sure our yarns aren't crossed. Once you get the hang of this, you'll just do it automatically and you won't even think about it. It'll just come. It'll just come naturally and you'll just be knitting along. I'm going to do this row. The next row, we won't be flipping our yarn to the back and the front. It'll just be carrying it across the back of our work. And it's one row. The yarn is carried across. And on the other end, or in the next row, you'll just be flipping your yarn. And it's just a matter of repeating those 2 rows until you get the desired number of rows. When I finish this, I will show you how I count for the length, pardon me, the length of the slipper. And remember, this is knit in the flat. We'll have to stitch up the back seam and the top of the slipper. I'm down to my last 4 stitches. And there we have it. Okay, now remember, when we have the wrong side or the inside of our slipper facing up, remember we always want to do that flip over. And in the previous video, I showed you how to do that. If you can't remember, just go back and watch that video. And now we're going to continue knitting those rows. And the way I count my rows, how many rows I need, what I do is I count the number of bumps. So what I'll do, once you get a few rows done, you'll be able to see those bumps a little bit better, and it'll start to pull in. So what I do is I count the bumps, and I'll start counting. I'll zoom in a little bit. So I have 1 bump. I'm going to continue knitting those rows until I have 30 of these bumps. And I'll show you on here. I'll just show you how I count them. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, until I get 30 of those bumps. When I get 30 of those bumps, that's when we will start shaping the toe end of our slipper. This is a smaller pair of slippers, so it doesn't have as many bumps. Okay, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below, and I will try to answer the best I can. Continue on doing your slipper, and I'll continue on with mine, and when I get to where I need to do my shaping at the toe, I'll be back and show you that in the next video. I apologize for my word stumbling and everything, but I'm just not good at YouTube yet. I will be back, and remember, if you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and leave a comment in the comment section below. And I hope you have a great day. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.